Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show!
Wholesale Hotline number 92. Who do we got in studio here? Look at this. I am telling you, we are real close, Pace, to having all three of us in studio.
You think it's going to happen today?
Away.
Is it going to happen?
Jamil is going to pop in like the genie that he is. And he's gonna. Oh, that would be great.
Oh,
man,
next week's show, we're gonna have like
next time.
Smoke, and we're gonna have all the things.
Listen, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. This is a week. This is my favorite holiday because this is a holiday about gratitude. This is a holiday about. There's some quote that I saw, and I read this Oprah Winfrey one earlier, but there's a quote that said something about gratitude is about. It is about focusing on the things that you have, and instead of focusing on the things that you wish you had or the things that are going to be in the future type of thing.
Right.
It's really focusing on the great things that you have. Are you kidding me? Oh, we're going to have you crawl down and pop up like a genie. Do we have the smoke?
Hey!
Oh, there he is. How are you?
Great.
Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving.
Hey,
we
you
go.
second me yet?
No. Kidding me? How can I be sick of you?
I've slept in my own bed 2 nights out of the last 35 days.
That's right.
And I've slept next to this man 33 out of those 35 nights.
I know you guys have been traveling.
Yeah.
You guys have been traveling. It is it's gratitude week, right?
Oh my
this
God.
This is Thanksgiving. This is the week that we get together. We get to think about the things that we have. We get to think about all the blessings that we have, and we get to celebrate that, right? We get to celebrate. What are we grateful for? What are we thankful for? And first and foremost on this, thank you. But and listen, absolutely. And everybody on here, everybody that's in the audience, everybody that's participating in here. It would just be us three jamokes talking to each other about wholesaling and growing businesses and that type of thing. But we truly, I think that we've done something special here. I think that we've got an incredible audience, and I'm so incredibly thankful to have the opportunity to speak to everybody and to do this every single week with you guys. It's crazy, especially with you guys. You guys have your coaching programs, your franchising, your business. You've got a huge businesses yourself. You're growing your portfolios. You're growing babies. You're getting houses, traveling the world, and yet still every Monday here we are for Wholesale Hotline.
I drove like a bat out of hell.
I know.
Like there wasn't like
I see the intensity in your eyes.
The amount of I'm like, oh my God, I'm 2 minutes late for Hotline. It like you can smell my tires out there. I screeched into the parking lot.
Yeah, so PB&J in studio today. So this is incredible. And just a quick announcement for everybody. We are really going to be putting in a lot of manpower and a lot of respect on the Wholesale Hotline podcast. So that's really 2022 is really going to be on the next level. We love all you guys. We get about 1,000 to 15 to 2,000 downloads every single episode, but we want to add more and we want to put more on there. So look for that in the next coming few weeks. It's going to be amazing.
But we are thankful for those downloads that we currently have.
Absolutely.
Yes. So to the 1,500 to 2,000 people that downloaded, and the other 3,000 to 4,000 people that watch it on YouTube, and the other 400 or 500 people that watch it live, we love you.
We love you.
Thank you.
There you go. There we go. All right. Well, let's start rocking and rolling here. I think during this week, it's really important that that we don't slow down to a stop in our businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just this. I mean, this week's a little bit crazy because we've got Thursday, Friday gets a little wacky. But then I think this is this is what I see a lot of times with my students, and maybe you guys have too over the last couple of years. This is where it's like they stop
Yeah.
after this week, and then it's kind of coast to the end of the year, and then I got to build the momentum again in the beginning of the year, and I don't want that to happen.
Here's
to
why
anybody.
they stop.
Go ahead.
Because they think that all the people they're talking to are saying, I don't want to deal with it until after the holidays, until after the holidays, until after the holidays, until after the holidays. And guess what? They're right. But here's where you can get business. Here's where you can do deals. I've got a trick that actually we at Keegley employ every year at this time to get some deals under contract and put ourselves in a situation to slam it home on December 26th, with which everyone will know is our busiest year of the busiest day of the year.
Yeah.
So how do you get inventory for December 26th? What do you do?
Yeah.
Guys, the MLS. The MLS, okay, has houses for sale on it right now. Right now. They're not all deals. There are very few of them are deals. Okay. But if you are looking at days on market and you start gaming the MLS between now and right before Christmas, you can have some incredible conversations with agents right now where they are desperate. They are so desperate to get these properties under contract. They totally know that people aren't buying right now. No one's writing, no one's looking, no one's walking, no one's watching, no one's doing crap except for you, action takers. So here's how you do it. You go through the MLS, you comb through the properties that have been on the market 30, 60, 90 days on the MLS right now before the holidays. You have a conversation with the agent. First and foremost, comp the property. Make sure you are knowing your numbers and which you need to get the property under contract for. So walk in with that in mind. Have the conversation with the agent and describe to them, you know as well as I know, the holidays are going to be really tough. Nothing's going to happen now until February, which I don't know if your seller is ready or willing or able to even wait. I've got a cash offer for you right now at this price. I can close on it right in between the holidays. I can do December 28th as a close day. Okay. But what I need from you is an inspection period to be open between now and close.
Love it.
So what you can do is you can actually structure your deal so that you have this long IP. Now, guys, don't be that jerk that can't sell the deal and then doesn't tell them until like December 28th that you're, but be in communication with them. They understand that your vendors, be in communication with the agent.
Not to pull these people that think that they're moving, they're packing up during the holidays.
But if you get the right number, if you're doing it at the right number,
should be a no-brainer.
You should be a no-brainer. And if you're using Keegley for disposition, it should be absolutely a no-brainer. So this is how you do it, right? Get super long inspection periods because you're telling your agents that my vendors are gone. Everybody's gone right now. I can't get my contractors through. I can't get my trades through. I'm going to need a long inspection. But you'll be surprised how negotiable people are right now. They are so negotiable, and you're not taking advantage of the opportunity to get out there and strike while the iron's hot.
Love it.
If you're leaving that deal flow on the table right now.
Love it. Mike, to answer your question here, earnest money, buddy. Non-refundable earnest money. How do you validate if a potential buyer is actually a buyer? I don't have a robust buyers list, but I want to make sure I'm not getting scammed by other wholesalers.
Okay, so this is more of a Jamil esque question, and I'm gonna let him answer this. But I just got a text message from somebody you and I know very well, Maritza.
Oh, no, wonderful.
Okay, so her text message was, Pace, I've got a buyer, but he wants to assign the deal, and I don't know what to do. Should I let him assign the deal? I'm like, Maritza, yes, you let him assign the deal, but you always ask him for non-refundable earnest. I don't care how many times it gets assigned. I don't care what happens at the end of the day. Would I like full control? Yes. But at the end of the day, as long as there's non-refundable earnest that covers my cost to get into the deal and I have no loss whatsoever and a potential gain, by the way, the other thing that we're not talking about here is non-refundable earnest from the buyer, but should their end of inspection date be the same as my end of my inspection date? Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay. So if you are when and if you're assigning your deal, there should be no inspection period to your end buyer. Are we in agreement to that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if that's the case and our end buyer or the buyer that we're assigning to doesn't have an inspection period, the EMD is already hard. First and foremost.
You are 100% right. So there you go. But the second part to that question is, how do I verify? Let's say I have a 15-day inspection period. How do I verify that this buyer is going to execute this contract before the 15 days is up, regardless of the earnest money?
Yeah. So
Okay.
your assignment should have a clause in it that expires at a specific time. So when you do a deal with Keegley, what happens is we send you out the assignment. It expires the next day at 10 a.m. So if it's not signed and if AMD is not deposited by 10 a.m. the next day, deal is null and void. The control comes right back to us. And we don't sign our assignments until they sign anyway. So it's still not even an executed assignment that gives them power over the deal.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
Now I've got, let's say I go get a contract with the seller. I've got a tangible contract. I go open escrow at the title company. Escrow has been officially opened. Seller's been notified. Hey, escrow's been opened. I go find my buyer. My buyer brings $5,000 non-refundable earnest money to the title company. The title company emails the seller again and says, hey, earnest money sitting here. This is awesome. Contract's looking good.
Right.
I still now have, let's say, 13 days on my inspection period before I have to cancel the deal. Is there any way, anything I can protect myself from that buyer canceling? Even though I get that earnest money, I really don't want that buyer to have the ability to cancel without me knowing 5 days or so before the end of my inspection period.
Yeah, your assignment has to have language in it that doesn't transfer an inspection period over.
Okay,
because you're talking about the original inspection period on the.
No, he's just saying, is there
No.
any guarantee
that I can get my buyer to actually close on the deal?
Yes, here's the guarantee. Okay. Long communication.
That's it.
That only thing that you can look, you can't make anybody do anything in life.
Right.
We all know that, right?
That's it.
Can't make anybody do anything in life, even with a gun to their head. People might say, no, I won't do it. Right. So with that said, because we can't really make anybody do anything, what we can do is talk to people and see where they are. And this is something that we do at Keegley very well. We start having conversations with our buyer through the entire escrow period to make sure, hey, how are you closing? Are you using hard money? Or are you closing with cash? I'm using hard money. I need to know who your lender is. Oh, I don't know my lender yet. Oh, that's not going to suffice for us. We need to know who your lender is now.
Right.
We need to know who your lender is by the end of the day. And we get aggressive. We get aggressive with wanting to know who the people are. So that gets the buyer moving and shaking. And if they're going to make that, oh my God, I don't think I can do this, they're going to have that dance like early. They're going to give us plenty of time to know that they're about to poop the bed. Right. So there's
a lot of red flags.
There's a lot of people
when they ghost, when they start ghosting, when they give you short answers, when they say stuff like, I wired it yesterday
and it doesn't show up.
I'm waiting for the title company to give my lender the docs.
Did you guys ever see
talk
that?
to the title company and they say, well, they just switched the lender. We didn't even know they were working with this lender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
this happens all the time.
Our mutual friend Voldemort, he was like the worst when it came to putting in earnest money.
Of course.
I could probably write a book of all the excuses that Voldemort would use on where the money is, why it's not there, how it's under my mat. Oh, sorry, my cat took it from under my mat.
Yeah, or just not replying to you at all.
Yes.
So you guys ever seen the movie He's Just Not That Into You?
Yes.
Okay. There needs to be a business, a real estate movie called Your Buyer's Just Not That Into You.
Just that your buyer just doesn't like your deal.
Yeah, your buyer just doesn't like your deal. Like, here's all the signs your buyer's not going to close, or your deal's not selling, or whatever else. So are there signs, really, really clear signs that my buyer's not going to actually execute the
there's
deal?
one right
there
there
on the screen. What if a buyer says he doesn't want to give me anything up front? He'll give it to the lawyer at closing. That's a bullshit buyer. Sorry.
Yep.
It's just what that guy has no intentions of doing any. That's not how business is conducted. Excuse me, sir, but that's not how it's done. So if
I love in the comments, everybody's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I love that, guys. Make sure that you are putting in what market you guys are working in, where you live. Make sure that you're squatting up in the comments. That's the point of this, is to bring everybody together. I mean, listen, you're going to understand if they stop communicating with you and they don't have money in there and they were really, really, really blowing you up in the beginning, but then all of a sudden they change their communication style and kind of start disappearing. That's when you understand that you need to pull that transaction back and find an actual buyer for that. Right.
Yep.
And people will go, I mean, people will really push hard. I want it. I'm driving to the title company right now and I'm doing it. Okay, great. If you accept that before noon that day, make sure it's in before 5. If you accept it after noon, it needs to be there before noon the next day, and let them know that. And if they're not following those rules, it's going to show you an indication of how the rest of this transaction is going to go.
And one last thing, your assignment should have a unilateral cancellation clause in it.
Yes, this is huge. Go for
A
that.
unilateral cancellation clause that says that even if you fart sideways, I can cancel the contract on you. So don't be a prick before closing. Sorry, excuse my language.
Right.
He,
I like
guys,
this.
He said fart.
This microphone back and forth. I feel dramatic. It's dramatic.
It's very
I need to
intense.
Pull mine in. The
Very
third
intense.
one. The third one.
Don't
was
bro.
doing
Don't worry
something
about it. It's all.
goofy,
It's all good. It's all good. Here's a question I'm really interested in. Moran says thoughts on digital land and the future of virtual real estate. So I'm really interested in this. I'm actually creating a completely separate YouTube channel for this.
Are you?
Yeah. So check this out. Here's what I'm doing. I go fix and flip houses like you and I do.
Yep.
Brent does sometimes as well.
Yep.
We go fix and flip a property. I make money for that month. Okay. After I invest in the normal things I invest in, my hard money lending business, my title business, whatever, and I have money left over. Let's say it's $40,000. What I'm doing is I'm taking $20,000. I'm going to buy as many sub-2 seller finance deals I can with that $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to take the other $20,000 and I'm going to buy into crypto. And I'm going to then take these and compete with each other throughout the year.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. So I did my second show today where I invested $20K into crypto.
Did you buy a $7,500?
I bought an $800 picture of a dog.
You see them calling you out on your mics here, Matt? You see what's going on here?
What are they saying? They don't like the mics? Are they upset about the mics?
Yeah, there's usually 3 mics. It's all right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The name of the show is going to switch from Wholesale Hotline to 2 mics.
That's it.
2 mics.
2 mics and a genie.
So I believe, here's what I think is there's value in the crypto space.
Yes.
Is I think that there's true value in making all of our lives easier. So for example, if I have a deed and right now in order for me to sell my property, that deed has to transfer to the new owner.
Right.
There's about 18 different people that deed has to go through, right? Title company, escrow company, recorder's office, lawyers, buyers, sellers, agents, all of those things. And then on top of it, you have to have a freaking notary verify that document has actually been signed by the right people before it actually gets recorded. So imagine in real estate, never having to go through that process where I can go, hey, Brent, I want to buy your house subject to right now. Or I want to buy your house on seller finance, and you can, from your phone, create an NFT that will allow me to have ownership of your property with an agreement. I feel like that's where real estate is going.
I think he's asking literally about virtual land.
No, I understand.
Right.
I understand. So what's going to happen is people can now have ownership on your property virtually, digitally, which is crazy. And if you go to like Decentraland, which is one of these websites that's selling land, you'll see Coca-Cola, Nike, big companies spending hundreds of millions of dollars buying land in Decentraland. It's bonkers.
What's Decentraland?
So it's like or Earth 2.0.
Okay.
They're already. Have you ever see the movie?
Why wouldn't we just make our own Earth? Why wouldn't we make our own land?
You can.
No, us 3. Let's just make
we could do it. We could do it. The problem is, would we have adoption? Would we have people adopt our thing? So what I worry about is like, if you look at Ready Player One, phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
That in maybe 50 to 100 years will be somewhat of a reality.
Sure.
And so people will spend more time in that digital world than they will in this world.
Yeah.
I don't think in our next 30 years, it's really going to be a game changer for a lot of people.
Right.
I think in the next 50 years, it definitely is, but it's not something
What do you think about crypto? What do you think about crypto?
I think it's like
he has one Bitcoin and he doesn't know how to access
I don't know how to access. I have one whole Bitcoin. I lost access to the password. I bought it at $6,500. It's still in my Coinbase account, in my wallet, but I don't know the password. And when I try to get the password from Coinbase, I get into this infinite loop of like, we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Sent them in my ID, no responses. It's absolute garbage. But I'm sure I can still get access to it. So I think I have like a $50,000 Bitcoin hanging out somewhere.
$56,000.
Yeah, amazing, great. I'll buy digital ice cream with it.
So there's no way. I feel like the NFTs and all these things of like pictures of dogs and all this kind of stuff. There's no way people aren't getting scammed.
They're not.
There has to be actual credible something behind it, right? So utility. So for example, if I buy an NFT that a very famous person has minted or made, and they give me access to like a party or something like that because I own that NFT, there's value in it at that point.
Because it's real life now.
It's real life.
Yes.
Where there's real value is when I can exchange my ownership of my house or an actual product without going through 15 people.
Right. You and I are working on something.
Yes, you and I are working on something about that. Outside of that, I feel like pictures of dogs and like these NFTs, mark my words right now. I know there's only like 400 people watching this. Mark my words. If you're in NFTs in 10 years, your NFTs will not be much. Like 99.9% of NFTs being minted right now will never be worth anything.
Right.
And what'll happen is more and more and more and more people will make these to the point where they just get saturated. The only NFTs that will have any value are like what Gary Vee's doing, right? He creates an NFT and he says, if you have
connected to it,
he's connected to it. So he's like, I'll give you a one-on-one, or you can come on my podcast if you own an NFT. There's utility behind that NFT.
Right. Or digitizing morality. Here's the thing, right? Because we got all these scams, we got all these people pretending to be other people, we get mortgage fraud, you get this and that. So especially when we're, as wholesalers, we're buying and selling houses and whatnot, people can do all kinds of stuff and not go by what the contract says, right?
Right.
And that's absolute garbage, and the repercussions of that are a problem. So what does a blockchain technology do? It makes sure that all the people are doing the things that they're supposed to do, and when they do the things they're supposed to do, they get the non-fungible token. And that digitizes morality. I understand that because you did the thing in real life. I did the thing in real life. And then you gave me my digital security for the thing that we each did in real life.
Right.
But there has to be an attachment to something in real life. Otherwise, we're all buying into this notion that we're going to be either Ready Player One, or if you have seen the movie Idiocracy, probably more closer to that than Ready Player One.
More than I've seen
so I think, guys, we're not heading towards that. I hope we're not as a society, because otherwise we're all just, why are we watching Wholesale Hotline? We should all just be baiting.
TTP over NFT.
Baiting.
I love it.
What are you doing? Baiting.
Well, I'm just, it's really interesting to me. Like, I think in these digital worlds, you can like dress your people up. You can buy clothes. I'm just wondering if Pace's avatar is going to look as good as he is lately with this new wardrobe. that somebody's picking this out. It's not him.
No,
it's not him.
I'm with him. He's helping me pick out stuff.
Pace is going bananas.
I'm the one who's got different. We've been at this. Have you heard of Purple Label at Polo?
No.
Oh my God! It's actually,
does it say TTP on the shirts?
It will.
So
after I talk to him.
Here's the last thing I'll say about this, and we can move back into real estate.
Sorry.
So I'm in Vegas with Jamil this last week. Okay. And I funded a deal a year ago for somebody else. I funded a deal, which means, guys, I took my personal money on a fix and flip and I funded somebody else's project. So they fix and flip that project. They go sell that to a retail buyer, John and Jane Smith. John and Jay Smith are now the owners of that property, and I still don't have my money. How is that possible? Here's why it's possible. Because the title company who is holding my money has to have a blue inked release of getting my money back. And they have to have a notary saying, yes, Pace signed this. And he actually used real ink. And I go, no problem. So I get a notary, has the notary stamp on it and everything. I take a photo of it. Okay. Click, click, click. Send it over to the title company. They go, oh, no, we need the physical copy. We need the wet copy. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody has to make this into a way easier process. Yeah. And so here I am. I don't have the time. I could have just done it from my phone, but they need it. So the blockchain will solve 99% of transaction issues in the future. Think about going back to the first conversation in Wholesale Hotline. A buyer not performing can actually be held to a standard through an NFT. Yes. And an NFT will actually do a better job of maintaining that buyer and all their requirements than an escrow or title company could ever do.
Well, the title and escrow companies are going to buy all this technology.
Well, here's the thing, okay? I'm going to call it out. I have been in a deal with the title company that I did a lot of business with, and because I was the big elephant in the room, and I could push my weight around, and I could be like, "What do you mean? I'm right. They're wrong." I was wrong. They were right. Okay. Guess who got the money?
You.
I did.
Mhm.
You know
I've
why?
been in those situations.
Because I got the relationship.
Right.
So no, title companies they're not. They are not just completely what's the word for it? My brain's
disinterested third party.
Yeah, they're not a third party. They have total affiliations. They send you to football games. They do all these things that they can do in the backgrounds, like, hey, here's 3 tickets on the floor.
They hold secret dinners.
They hold secret dinners. They do all
All the
kinds of
time.
things. They have symbols, guys. They wear masks.
Oh.
Like, you guys don't understand. Why do you think the title companies are so shiny?
Frederick has a question for you, Jamil.
What's the question?
Can you help him out? What is the discount percentage of ARV in Richmond, Virginia?
About 72% for cosmetics and about 55% for full gut remodels.
And is 72% the wholesale price, what he can sell it for?
That's what you want to contract it at, and then you can add about 10K on top of
And
that
then
for your
add it
wholesale
on
fee.
top.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. There you go, Frederick. Boom. And guys, we're here to answer questions, and we've got us all together here, so it's going to be a lot easier to just bang these out fast.
Can I
So
tell
make
you guys
sure
a couple
jump
of
in
big
here.
things I'm excited about just real
Yes.
quick? Hired another COO today.
I heard
that
about
happen?
that.
Here's how it happened. Okay, I'm telling you, we have
How many COOs do you have?
well, we have 3 because we have 9 companies, right? So we have 3.
You only have 9?
We only have 9.
Come on.
Well, I mean, we have more revenue streams, but like 9 companies, right?
Okay.
So here's how it happened. It's been going on for like a year. I've been needing an operations manager for this. It's actually for my real estate business. Cody's been handling everything on his own, but we don't want to train somebody in what real estate is. Like, I don't want to get an operations manager that came from, medical device sales. Like, for me, I need somebody who understands what a deed is. I need somebody who understands why a hard money lender should do this or that or whatever else. I need somebody who understands the nuances of real estate. So here's how it happened. Last night, I'm driving home from Vegas, and I'm like, what are the things? Every time I go to an event, I always come home with like a laundry list of things I'm going to accomplish in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
So on my list, I'm sitting there in traffic up in Wickenburg, Arizona,
Beautiful.
stuck in my Prius. And I'm like, okay, making a list. I'm going to get to, when I get home, I'm going to sit down on my computer and I'm going to handle this. So one of those things on my list is I need to get another editor for our media team, and I need to get an operations manager for my real estate business to take things off Cody's plate. It's like thousands of things he does on a weekly basis. So why has it been so hard? I don't know, but we've hired recruiting companies. I've talked about it like openly to people, but one thing I didn't do is I didn't post it on social media and say, I need this. So last night I get stuck again in Central Phoenix in a traffic jam. I go, no better time than right now to use social media. If you guys are not getting loud with social media, this is what you're missing out on.
Get loud.
I post on my social media, I will pay $10,000 for anybody that refers an operation.
I reposted it.
I know, I saw that.
Reposted it.
Ryan LaRue refers a girl to me, and guess who he refers? And I don't want to cry about this. I'm not going to. Jean Garino's right-hand girl.
No.
Oh, wow.
Jean Garino's right-hand girl lost her job because Jean passed away.
Yeah.
Bro, how incredible is that?
What's incredible is the day that you and I got stranded in Key West, you and I physically went and met Jean Garino.
Yeah.
Jean Garino told his whole staff how excited he was to meet you and I multiple times. The reason why she took the job is because you and I got stranded in Key West.
I go next door to my house.
Yeah.
Assisted living facility where my grandma lives. There's a picture of Jean.
Wow.
There's a picture of Jean sitting right there. Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Gene. We love you, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
Crazy.
about that. It's been a huge bottleneck in our business that Cody just has to work more hours, etc. And we picked up Jean's right-hand girl. And
Big celebration for Evan Gross. What did he make on this? I posted to the Wholesale Hotline Facebook group, and I don't do a lot of posting in groups, but I saw that pop up, Evan, and I was pumped. I think it was big. It was in the group. It was like it was yeah. Evan, put out how much you made here. I'm gonna ring this bell. Here we go.
hey, can we put Justin May's question on there about subject to deals,
Of course.
please? Oh, you've got control today, dog.
Come on, player.
Wait, hold on.
50. 51, right?
51,500.
51. I remember that. Yep.
$51,000. I want to see 51,000. Congratulations.
500. 51.5. Congratulations, Evan.
Yo, can I
That's
get a
what
loan,
we're
dog?
talking about.
Can I get a loan? Can I get a loan?
I love it.
So, Justin May, great question. So, Justin, I'm not sure if you're following the chat. Okay. It's obvious that you're not a sub-2 student because you wouldn't ask this question. Okay. What you would be asking is who can help me structure this deal when I run into one. Myron and Carolyn are in the side chat. They're in DFW. They have multiple times, I've been watching the side chat. They said, we are here to help anybody with creative finance deals. So Justin May, here's what you do. You go to somebody who has the experience, sit down with them. They will help you structure and talk to your seller. That's the answer. And if you want to learn more about creative finance, go to Sunday service every Sunday, 7 p.m. I talk creative finance. That is what you do. Go to Carolyn and Myron out of DFW. They're in the side chat. Carolyn and Myron, please put your information in the side chat so Justin May can reach out to you guys. You guys can squat up and make some money together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Ooh, Andreas.
Yeah, he's putting it in a couple.
Question.
Yep. How do you comp duplex without close by comparable sales?
Income. Andreas, any multifamily, duplex, triplex, quadplex, 8plex, 20plex, 100plex, 1000plex, its value is 1000% dependent on one thing only: income and market. Okay, so what you need to do is tell me where is this duplex, and you got to tell me what the gross rents are. I can tell you approximately, pretty close, what you can offer for it and what it would be worth on the retail market.
Let me ask you this: because duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes can get conventional financing, and they're not commercial financing, why not comparables?
You could, but they're harder.
That's what I always do.
They're harder.
I look for what's active.
Yeah,
and I try to be under.
The thing about it is that like specific markets, high appreciation, high demand markets will be, again, on a more of a 1% rule for a duplex, triplex, quadplex, just like they will for single family.
Okay.
So we're not really far apart from that.
Yeah.
But I think because they're income properties, that's how they're valuated. Now, yes,
by the buyer.
By the buyer. Now, does how much a fourplex or a triplex or a duplex if another small multifamily is traded nearby, is that more accurate of a comp? Yeah, it's more accurate. What's the place, David? I need the market. Here's why. It's
a good fourplex. Think about that.
In Los Angeles, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. In Los Angeles, do you know for every $1 million you spend on a property, how much you get in gross rents? Do you know what that value is? $4,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of the 10, which would be 1%.
Right. So in Phoenix, if I'm going to spend $1 million, I should be getting $10,000 a month in gross rent.
Right.
In Los Angeles, I spend $1 million. I'm going to get $4,000 a month in gross rent. So it's always market dependent. So
and there's appreciation markets and there's cash flow markets.
It's in more of a higher appreciation market than Arizona is.
Yeah. Yep. And look at your price. I mean, you can do a quick Google search and just look at what is the price. What is the average median home sale price over the last 20 years in your market? Well, if it's been doing some of this, like in our markets, and then it goes up, you're in an appreciation market, right? Is there new industry? Is there new economy coming to your city, state, area, county, whatever else? Is there some sort of jobs that people can have to be able to afford houses? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for economy. You're looking for growth, right? And if it's more like, this is pretty standard economy for the last 20, 30, 40 years, then typically it's a cash flow market. That's why you see a lot of these properties bought for turnkey rentals in Memphis, St. Louis, Kentucky. There's a lot of different markets where it's fantastic if you're looking for cash flow, but you're not going to get as much appreciation because the supply and demand is not going to be as hit or miss, really.
Christina Solara, love you, appreciate you. Jamil and I really enjoy meeting you face to face in Raleigh, North Carolina recently. That was great.
Thanks for taking care of my daughter.
Yeah.
All those years.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, Christina, she says, how do you decide whether a property should be midterm or long-term rental? What is your individual strategy to determine that? Every single rental needs to be a long-term rental, every single one. Now, what happens is you will run into massive appreciation in certain parts of the market, right? The market will change and you'll get a bunch of appreciation. And at that point you go, should I take some money off the table? Right? What we just recently did is we had 7 properties that were all long-term. They appreciated like crazy. We could have sold those, but what we did is what?
Refi.
I refied them out. We got $400,000 in cash.
Yep.
What did I do with that $400,000?
Bought more stuff too.
Wardrobe.
I bought. No, this is what do you call it? Secondhand store. This is actually my wife's jacket.
Yeah.
So we took that $400,000 and we then redeploy it into more rentals, all long term.
Yeah.
The only time we sell is when there's a problem.
Yeah.
Too much crime. We're having a hard time with renters. It's just an area that we're having a hard time with. We then sell those. But every time you buy a rental, needs to be, at least in my opinion, in our strategy, it's always long term unless the market tells you otherwise.
Love it. Let me ask you, with a 1031 exchange, and we're kind of getting, into next level, so I won't spend too much time. Can you sell those and buy something bigger, or do you have to stay in single family?
You can buy something bigger, but you have to use certain strategies in order to do it. Then I will melt some brains in order to do that. So the answer is yes. A lot of people, like in regular world, there's multiple levels. A lot of people don't know you can sell properties and even do 1031. Then there's people that do know that you can do a 1031, but they think that you have to do like for like. Somebody talking trash?
No, they're just laughing about the daughter comment.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Go to Alicia.
You just know his noises that well? He just starts breathing out of his nose, and you're like, what?
Alicia
fighting?
Oh, you know what? I'm the one that can do this.
That was great.
What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so I own a house. I got it subject to.
All right.
It's currently my primary residence. The ARV is $200,000 as is. It needs $40,000 worth of repairs. What's the smartest way to go about making this house an income? Well, first and foremost, you can't live in a property. Okay. You can't live in the property if you want to make it as income, unless you rent out one room on Airbnb. Okay. That's the only way you can turn a primary residence into an income stream. Okay. Is renting out one room or a portion of the house. Number one. Number two, if you decide I'm going to move out of this house and turn it into an Airbnb, then that's it. Like, I personally think that highest and best use of most properties right now, because Airbnb is very, very hot. Airbnb is the best way to make that a cash flowing property. However, you might be in an area that the Airbnb is not awesome.
Right.
How do I know that? Is you go to airdna.com. Okay.
Is that a subscription?
It's like $39 a year.
Got it.
Okay. But a lot of the people in the community already have a subscription to it. So I would go to AirDNA, use somebody else's subscription if you don't want to pay the $39. But pay $39, get access to it. And it's going to do a whole breakdown of everything your house will do. And it's always very, very conservative. My Airbnbs outperform AirDNA every single time. So go to airdna.com, plug in your address, get a full report, and it's going to go, oh my gosh, you can make X amount of dollars per month if you turn this into an Airbnb. You then have to weigh that against, is it worth it for me to move out into something else in order to turn this into an Airbnb? All right.
Yep. Love it.
Let's see here. Pace, can I get a loan for a 3-unit using rents instead of my income?
Of course you can.
Can I get a loan for a 3-unit using the rents instead of my income?
But you'll also need income as well. You can't have no income, because they're going to want to know how you're going to pay for the unit that you're in. And they're also, from my understanding, they're always going to want to make sure that if your place goes vacant, that you're going to be able to debt service.
Yep.
Right. So guys, I had Jimmy Al, one of my students, asked me the other day, where do I go to get loans? So guys, where Cody and I actually go to get all of our refinances is this company right now, myinvestorloan.com. So if you need a commercial loan, Jamil and Brent were talking about Kogo Capital last week.
Yep.
Pretty well-known company in the industry. What's his name? Lee Arnold.
Yeah.
Right. Lee Arnold owns that company. I currently use myinvestorloan.com. So what I would do, Carlos, is I would call.
Well, it's just Kogo Capital
loan.
has a cash, has a proof
of
funds.
funds. Right.
Yeah.
So myinvestorloan.com, you can get cash outs, you can get fix and flip income. You can do new loans. Cody just refinanced his primary residence with myinvestorloan.com. So I would go to myinvestorloan.com to answer that question for yourself. Thank you, brother.
Awesome.
Cody, or not Cody, sorry.
Will you go just to answer this because it's
Which
behind us? The mentorship Tank asked if the mentorship, it's $1,500 off this week for Black Friday for TTP.
Wait, what?
I am telling you, yeah, it's bananas.
Are you
So we
are
do
you
this
serious?
every year.
I'm a TTP alumni.
know.
I feel like I should buy it again just
You
because
paid
that's
full price.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
In fact, I asked you if
You
I could
did
pay an
pretty
extra
well.
$1,000.
Yeah, that's it.
I would still
Yeah.
to this day rebuy that. If it's $1,500 off, might buy it again. That's insane.
Nice. You're more than welcome.
Jamil,
I know a guy.
are you open to comping a property?
Always.
Okay, Jamil's going to comp a property.
Okay.
I almost wish we had a camera shooting at his thing, but you tell me when you're ready for it.
Go to Martin. That is a great question, Martin. Whoever you're working for, you need to take a screenshot of this and send it to him right now. I'm a lead manager for a wholesale company. How can I bring them as much value as I can?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. Your job is to make sure that the engine is always running. Your job is to make sure that the momentum of the business is always going. Remember, there's 3 of us for a reason: lead generation, conversion, and exit strategy and disposition. So with a lead manager, your job is to make sure you've got basically the first 2 parts of that 3 parts. You've got to make sure that there's enough leads coming in so that everybody gets enough opportunities. And 2, you got to make sure that their quality, they're getting followed up with, they're pre-qualified, and your offer presentations are perfect. So you got to make sure that you got both sides. I mean, you got big, heavy lifting to do. So to be the best at that, you got to make sure that deals are getting under contract. That's the number 1 indicator. Make sure that your people know how to close deals, how to lock those things up, and make sure that they have enough to lock up. That's what a lead manager does. My lead manager, Jackie Thornburg, runs my company.
Jackie's amazing.
Yep. What do we got?
On the property on Winburn, so there's a comp at like 366, but it's on a half acre. Now,
What's
it's
ours?
about the same. We're on a 10,000 square foot lot, so we're significantly smaller, but we're not in a luxury price point. So the value of that land will be about 20,000.
All right.
So you're at about 345 ARV.
There you go. And start working it backwards.
Jamil wants they want a couple of comps. I think what you guys need to remember is Jamil comps for 2 hours every single Sunday on comping, and straight out of comping.
Except that was in Vegas this week, and Emily didn't make it. So
Oh, that's why we're getting the trickle. We're getting the tickle trickle. I love it. Okay, we'll do some more comps tonight, guys. Here is interesting question. Miran, what are your thoughts on buying properties internationally, especially for Airbnb purposes? So I got hit up in my DMs yesterday. This guy was aggressive as shit.
Yeah.
He's like, why aren't you investing in Europe? Why aren't you investing? I'm like, bro, there are more. How many vacant properties in America?
Tons.
Over 12 million.
Okay, so there's 12 million reasons
that have been vacant for over a year.
Okay, 12 million properties in United States that have been vacant for over a year.
Based
there
on
are
the 2020 census.
12 million reasons why I am not interested in investing anywhere else in the world than the United States.
Right.
Okay, there's your answer. I'm not going to waste a minute of my time outside of the country. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm sure there's way higher level people, but I'm just not that smart. Okay. Comp cam. Oh shit! Just for Jamil.
Are
Okay,
you kidding me?
Michael Diaz.
Are you kidding me?
Michael,
Who are these guys?
Wow,
It's like a pro
epic.
studio. I mean, if you get that microphone working, this is going to be a nice day.
Hey, there's girls asking if you're single, bro. What should I tell them?
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Married for 12 years. Okay. So good question. Michael Diaz says, don't use Kogo Capital for proof of funds if the seller is giving you a hard time. I had a situation where the seller found the site
Of course.
to buy a POF.
The seller's probably a
You
real
know I have
estate
a
agent.
solution? Did you guys know I have a solution for a proof of funds problem?
Let's do it.
So I've taken $1 million of my own money
Mm-hmm.
and I've put it in an account.
Okay.
That account has a lending license.
Yep.
And it's called Flip Fund, backed by yours truly, Jamil Damji. I will now be offering proof of funds probably by about middle of next week.
I love it.
You can go to my website. Now, guys, I'm not going to lend on your deal. But what I can do, I'm going to have the money for your deal. I'm going to be able to legally give you a proof of funds. And that's that.
How do they find that?
I'm going to have the URL for you guys on the Wholesale Hotline in the coming weeks.
Stay tuned.
Flipfund.com. Now, Michael Diaz, let me throw something out here real quick. The challenge is 10 years ago, there was no such thing as Kogo Capital.
Right.
Okay. And there were people in circles at RIAs, wherever, behind closed doors, having a conversation saying, man, I just wish there was a company out there that would provide a solution for proof of funds. And then when a company finally does, the masses go, oh my gosh, this is changing the game. It's amazing. There's always going to be the 1% guys that a solution is not perfect for. You're always going to run into a seller that's going to be over analytical, probably not your seller in the first place. I wouldn't worry too much for a seller. If a seller is going that hard on a proof of funds, the problem is not the proof of funds. The problem is not that they can find it online. The problem is either A, you have a seller that's not willing to sell and not motivated, or B, you haven't built enough trust in the conversation to overcome that.
It also means you don't have your financial backing.
Right.
You don't have somebody that's gonna that would come in
Right.
and buy any great discounted deal. We talk about it all the time.
Now, if the deal is amazing, I'm going to be underwriting the deals.
Okay.
I will underwrite them, and they will be a way for Keegley to.
It
will be a way for Keegley to use that as a lead capture to try to do business with you guys. So know that we hope that we will do business with you and help you sell that deal.
Awesome.
But I'm earmarking that $1 million for Wholesale Hotline, sub 2 Astro TTP students, so that you guys can all have access to actual proof of funds letter. Backed by me.
Give Jamil thank you and gratitude for that, guys. That's a big deal. Also, we have the comp cam on the desk, so I really want to get this thing working. Okay, so Jamil,
I've got one.
Oh, you do?
I do. I have a student that.
Please give us your address, Brent. Give us your address. So
just
everybody wants to
waiting
show up to Thanksgiving. Okay.
All right. Hold on. Here we go.
The TTP Ranch.
Here we
Jamil,
go.
you are the MVP today. I needed a proof of funds for a realtor and HML. What's HML stand for? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I've got 1103 Pinkston.
Yo, throw it up there.
Okay.
Let's go comp cam, dog. Oh
my God. Now everybody saw my code.
They can slow it down. Don't let that phone out of your sight.
Hold on, this is dope. This is the first time comp cams happened.
How's that? Is that it's light, too bright.
Pull your brightness down on your phone. Well, not that much.
Not that much.
So, hold on, guys. We're just working up this tech. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I had
I like
Jamil
that.
sign up for my tech
That's
education. Jamil signed up for it.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, what's the address?
1103 Pinkston Street.
Pinkston?
Yep.
Henderson? North Carolina?
No, it's probably Missouri. Yep.
Grandview?
Yep.
Yeah, it's got autofocus, so hopefully
It's all right. Do your thing.
Okay. Here we got a 2-bed, 1 bath, 1360 square footer. Zillow's estimate is 99,600.
Yep.
I want to take a look at some of the details here. Built in 1926, sitting on a 1/4 acre-ish lot.
Yep.
No quick comps.
Yep.
Okay, let's check the map. Oh, non-disclosure. So unfortunately, Zillow won't work here. But what we can do is just look at
see what's going on.
what has kind of popped up.
Yeah.
How big are we? 1360. Yeah. Okay. Not going to be a ton. Here's a 100K sale from 2020, but it's much smaller. So we know we're above 100 grand.
Okay.
So we can start kind of notching up to where we might be, you know? What's the 150? 1808 square foot. Looks like a 2-story. Is not going to work.
Big guy.
Let's see what else we've got here. What's the 75? We know we're above 75, so I'm not even going to bother. What's this 122? 2,000 square feet, too old. Ooh, I like this. Okay. Now it's an older comp. It's from 2020, but it gives us an understanding that around 1,300 square feet in very nice condition, you can tell this is a beautiful house.
Yep.
Sold at about 120 grand. Now we know that Grandview, Missouri didn't have a 20% appreciation between 20. It had maybe 10.
Yep.
right? So if I want to get super exact with that, I'm going to take 10% of 120. It's going to be about 12,100 on this.
Love it.
I'm going to add that to my 121. I'm going to say your ARV is about 135.
Love it.
Ba-da-bop.
Oh, I see what's going on. Sometimes you have the thing and sometimes I do.
That's just Zillow, right?
That's just Zillow.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's not possible.
Oh, yes. It's possible.
This is a Brent question.
When driving for dollars, if you see the property is in clear disrepair, but it was bought in the last year, is it worth marketing to?
Make sure that it actually was purchased rather than transferred through like an inheritance, because a lot of times that will happen. A vacant, disrepaired property will transfer from one owner to another, and it will look as if it was a sale, right? And sometimes it'll be a $0 transfer type of thing.
Yep.
And the date, you need to make sure if it was a purchase, it might be somebody doing what?
A fix and flip.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, here's the thing: is it owned by We Fix Houses
Yeah. If it's
LLC?
If it's owned by an LLC, of course you want to communicate to these people. They could be a potential buyer for you, and they may
Right.
not want that flip anymore.
Right.
Have a conversation.
That's
TTP them.
That's it. So, I mean, it just depends. Oftentimes, they're owned by LLCs with very, very obvious names, and that should be great for adding to your cash buyer database. You can ask them, what their plans are. Let's be honest, most of the time, they're either working through permits or it's next in line with their crew, or they're just holding it till the next year, whatever else. There's a lot of different strategies, but ask them what their plans are with the property if they just want to, get it off their plate. If not, add them to your cash buyer database. If it's a person that buys it, then maybe it is an inheritance. Maybe it is something that happened there. So dig into it a little bit. But either way, here's the thing: it's an ugly house in your community. So find out what's going on. Either way, you win. You're either going to get a cash buyer that is actually closing deals, or you're going to find maybe an opportunity. There you go. Jamil, you're a wizard. My eyes are still rolling trying to keep with y'all comping.
I try. Did you comp that deal?
It's your first time. I haven't comped it. I haven't. Yeah. I did a different one, and the interesting thing, about that is that property has foundation issues. As well.
Okay, so you want to know what you should offer on that?
So I know what the seller wants. So
let's see if we're in line. Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna say you're 135 ARV.
Jamil turned me into a gambler this weekend. I got to get some action on this.
Okay.
$5. I got $5 on Brent.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
Didn't you say you guys were going to compete on who's?
No, I know what
he knows what the
this is.
This is
a
okay. I got $5 on Brent.
See how close I am to the seller's
Great.
number. I'm not going to be wrong here. The seller's wrong.
Okay.
Not right.
Okay. I guess there's nothing to bet on.
Okay.
Dang it.
He's actually a pretty decent blackjack player.
Oh, I'm sure.
You said it has foundation issues?
Yes. Yep.
I'd be at 55K.
For your offer?
Yeah.
Nice.
What does seller want?
Well, my student is actively negotiating it. So yeah.
Can't say.
He wants less than that. So yeah.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Buy it. Speaking of a couple good questions, okay? Derek Cecil. Derek Cecil. Have you ever had the due on sale clause called by the lender? Yes, I have 5 times. I have had it called 5 times, and we've overcome it all 5 times. So Derek, either A, link up with one of my sub 2 students to understand how the due on sale clause gets overcome or overcame, and also how to protect yourself from it happening frequently. It's about 1 in 1,000 chances for the due on sale clause to actually happen. And when it does happen, it's not a big deal. It will inevitably happen in creative finance. You'll have it happen from time to time. There's easy ways to overcome it.
Aren't there like insurance companies and things that you can work with as well?
Yeah, there's insurance companies. So Derek, I would go to youtube.com/PaceMorby and go to my episodes of Sunday Service. I did an entire hour and a half on due on sale clause. Start there. Okay. Start there on that hour and a half on due on sale clause, or link in with some of my students. Another thing I saw in here that I really liked was this. Okay. This is the question that stresses me out more than any question on planet Earth.
I know this gets you allergic.
This stresses me out. And I'll tell you why this stresses me out. I fight so hard. All 3 of us fight so hard every day to try and penetrate all the noise out there to get into people's earlobes so they can understand where deals come from. I just did a 30-day challenge. Okay. Go to the link in my Instagram bio. You guys can go watch all 30 days of this 30-day challenge where my sub 2 students helped non-students go out and achieve 300 contracts in 26 days. 300 contracts in 26 days. David, go learn where those 300 contracts came from in a free way. But there's really only 5 places that a deal comes from. And I'll tell you guys where they come from. Number 1, direct to seller. Okay, that's number 1, direct to seller. Number 2, on market. And what does on market mean? It means, is it on the auction market? Is it on the retail market? Or is it already locked up by a wholesaler? In my world, that's a wholesaler market. That is on market to me. Okay. So that's first and foremost. Okay. 1 and 2. Number 3 is referral relationships, right? So people like a realtor who might not have a contract, they go to a Jamil and they go, like Monique Walker does with you all the time. Hey, I've got the seller I'm talking to. I don't think it's a great listing opportunity. Let's buy it wholesale. That might not be locked up yet. She refers Jamil over there. They lock up the deal. They do the deal together. Okay. Referrals. Number 4, trusted advisors. And what does that mean? That's probate attorneys. That's if a seller is going through a hardship, a financial advisor, a bishop, or somebody in their trusted advisor circle, they're going to say, what do I do with this house? What do I do with my real estate? My husband and I are getting divorced. What do I do? I have gotten so many deals from Rylas Dana, who is a listener of this show because he's a probate attorney. That is a trusted advisor to the seller. Okay. And number 5, something that a lot of people don't talk about. I'm going to tell you the final one. It is probably one of the best ways to get a deal is go work for somebody else. Go work for somebody else. Those are it. Those are the only 5 ways to get a deal. Direct to seller, and direct to seller is a pretty wide umbrella, right? It's cold calling, texting, RVMs. It's marketing directly to a seller. Number 2 is on market. Is it on the auction market? Is it on the MLS market? Or does a wholesaler already have it locked up? I buy deals from wholesalers weekly that we turn around and fix and flip. Jamil buys hundreds
from wholesalers that we turn around and wholesale.
Right. Jamil buys hundreds of these deals every single month. Number 3 is referrals. Number 4 is trusted advisors. And number 5 is go work for somebody else. Guys, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people in this audience right now that should literally just go work for somebody else. Okay. I have an acquisition manager. In January of this year, he departed my company. His average paycheck was $18,000 a month as an acquisition manager. So guys, you don't have to in order to make $250,000 a year in this business, you don't technically have to be the owner of the company. Go work for somebody else. Go work for a Keegley. Go work for Brent Daniels. Work for me. We are always hiring. If you want to learn how to do deals, come work for us. That's the 5th way to get into this business is go work for somebody else.
Yeah, you could message any of my staff, message Colby, message Ronald, message Jeremy, message Seth. Ask them, what do your paychecks look like?
Okay,
40,000, 30, 40,000,
Yeah.
45,000 a month.
Well, listen, I mean, the simple answer on how to get deals. It's plastered on Jamil and I's shirts. All right.
PTT.
It's talking to me. Either you're buying a conversation through marketing, you're building a network and you're waiting for them to bring you opportunities, or you're being proactive and you're calling either your network or you're calling these advisors, or you're calling directly to the seller and having those conversations. Right. So it just depends on what you want to do and what your budget is. And to your point, I think it's fantastic. If you have that fire in your belly to be a real estate entrepreneur, but you still have, you still want an apprenticeship, go work for the baddest, biggest, fastest company out there. You know what I mean? But you got to earn that spot. We get hit up all the time for opportunities to work for us, and only certain people do. It's because you got to really, 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 really want it, and it's got to be consistent. How many times have you had people that you would offer jobs to that just don't show up? Or they don't show up after 2 weeks, or they don't show up after 3 weeks.
It's so bad. Let me tell you this. I hired this girl. Her name is Azul, right? It means blue.
Yeah.
Okay. I was so frustrated that she made me blue in the face, but her real name was Blue. I hired this girl. And by this time in my hiring process, I have a list of 25 excuses that if you use any one of these 25 excuses in your first 30 days, you're immediately fired. Okay. What are some of those excuses?
My car broke down.
Right. That's one of them.
My
sick.
alarm clock didn't go off.
I'm sick.
I'm sick.
My kids, my husband, my grandma died, whatever it is. There's literally 25 very common excuses we've all heard before.
Yeah.
So I tell people when you come and work for me, if you use any one of these excuses, if you're going to use an excuse to not come into work, at least do me a favor.
Be creative.
Come up with something I've never heard before, please. And I will let you keep your job. So this girl Azul, literally next day, she sends a text message at like 7:58. She's supposed to be at the office at 8. Okay. She sends a text message and she goes, "Hey, I'm ... I'll call you and explain." She gets on the phone with me and she says, "Hey, my car is my car." And I go, "You know what this means, right?" And she goes, "I'm fired." I go, "That's correct." Click. Guys, 99% of people don't show up. It is not that hard to be successful in this world. In fact, you don't even have to be that smart. You just have to show up.
You just have to show up.
I told Cody Barton and my other partner today, I said, the most important thing in all of our businesses is somebody who cares and shows up. I don't even need the smartest person on the planet. I just want somebody who cares and shows up because they'll learn everything.
Yep.
Just show up.
Yep. There you go. What was that question about the LLC? Sorry. 2 to 3 years. If they own it and it's still ugly and it's an LLC, call them.
Of course.
Call them. Listen, the worst case scenario is they don't want to sell you that property, but they do want more properties from you, right? Everybody's looking for new opportunities. Yep.
Okay, so Justin May says, Pace, are you still wanting to fly out and help someone for 30 days? Bro, I'm not wanting to. It's a complete plan. We are going to do it. But I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be somebody that absolutely needs the help. It's going to be somebody, not somebody that's just like, I'm excited, and they could go and take the action on their own, and they're just simply not taking the action. We're going to go help somebody that really, really needs the help. And
what is this 30-day thing?
What I'm planning on doing on the break between seasons 2 and season 3 for A&E, I'm going to fly into a random city. Picked by the audience. And I'm going to partner with somebody for 30 days where I'm their partner for 30 days. I don't care if they have a day job. I don't care if they have 2 day jobs. I will work all day long on their behalf. I will set up their whole company. I will pay for the expenses, and I will show the world how it's done. And I will build that business for them. We'll do deals together. Whatever money I make out of the deal, I'm donating it to a family in need, and I'm walking away and leaving the business in place.
Got it.
Okay. So I want to show everybody how it's actually done. So guys, I'm telling you, if you are somebody that should just be taking action, it's not going to be you.
I think I like Nicole.
What'd she say? I like Detroit. I like
Detroit.
I like Nicole too. She's great.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Jeremy says, I've got 8 kids. I'm self-employed in Indiana. Well, probably not you, Jeremy. I'm so sorry, but it probably going to be something else. Somebody needs a little bit more help. And we're going to talk about it as a community. And I want to share it. I want to share the whole message with you guys, and I want to share the live stream every single day, 8-10 hour live streams every day. You guys will see the actions I take every day to build somebody else's business. Come to Indiana. Okay, cool. Come to LA. That's too easy. That's the easiest market. That's the easiest market of all time.
If you can afford to live in LA, you don't need any help.
Yeah, that is correct.
Move.
Okay, here's a question. Addison, I expect to have a sizable deal closed before the end of the year. How should I go about creating an LLC so I can leverage taxes? Okay, so here's what I would tell you guys right now. Unfortunately, we don't have a wholesale hotline discount. So I'll give out Jamil's discount. Go to PCS.com or PrimeCorporateServices.com. Okay. PrimeCorporateServices.com and tell them Jamil Damji sent you.
Is it service or services?
That's a great question. We should definitely look at that. Yeah. Every one of my students.
Google Prime Corporate Services.
It's plural. Eric behind the scenes is saying,
nice.
Thank you. He knows, dude. He knows the stuff because Eric cares. That's why. Okay. PrimeCorporateServices.com and tell them Jamil, the Blue Genie, sent you. I'm going to text Steve Harward, the owner of the company, and say, hey, can you please give everybody a Blue Genie discount?
Wonderful.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I tried to set up LLCs on my own. I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not worth it.
The wrong one. You're screwed. I did that before. My first A to Z property management was the wrong kind of company.
Right.
And how we were being taxed.
Oh my God.
So I was just hanging out with Steve, the principal at Prime Corporate, and he was making fun of me because my tax bill this year was near $600,000.
Yeah.
And I actually paid that to the IRS.
I was laughing at you in January at a mastermind. I was like, bro, we need to fix this. But I can't get into your finances because we're homies.
Yeah.
But what happened is we met Steve Harward, and I went off, forged this relationship with Steve, and I was like, can you please bring a crazy discount to like all of our students? And it took us 6 months to accomplish this.
Yep.
So essentially what they'll do, Prime Corporate Services, if you are a TTP, you are a Astro student or a sub 2 student, it took us 6 months to set this up. primecorporateservices.com will set up, they'll give you a free consultation first and foremost, 45-minute phone call talking about, I don't care, you don't have an LLC, and I don't care if you have 5,000 LLCs, they will give you 45 minutes of their highly professional time. And if you are one of our students, they will walk you through the process and set up an LLC for $0 out of to them, no dollars to them, but they will charge you the filing fees for the state. That's it. So if the state costs $200, they're going to charge you $200. If the state costs $600, they're going to cost you $600. But if you go to Albuquerque and it costs $7 to start an LLC, it's going to cost you $7.
This is a loss leader forum.
Yes,
it really is. This is to build the relationship. They do an incredible job with a ton of other services. So guys, you know, if you need help setting it up, just check it out.
What they really do well on is tax.
Right.
So let them help you lose money. Let them lose money helping you.
Taxes here?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's personally.
I know.
Here's the thing. Okay. So
it's
Steve Harward, this is how good of a guy Steve is. Okay. So I'm speaking at the Thrive event.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, I see Steve in the event. I'm like, bro, so glad you made it. That's so cool. I didn't know you were here. He goes, bro, I literally flew in just to see you and Jamil.
Right. No, he does.
He's that like dedicated, right? He's
the guy's texted me like every day since you've introduced me.
Yes, he's amazing. I mean,
the communication's unbelievable.
He's amazing. So he goes to Jamil. He goes, both of us. He goes, this is the kind of relationship you guys need in your life, by the way, is a guy that comes right up to you and goes, what's your personal tax liability and how can I get rid of it?
Right. Right.
And so he goes to Jamil and he goes, Jamil, I have an exact way to get rid of your $500,000 tax liability.
And give me a plane.
And give him a plane. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
You're gonna get a plane?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a plane. I'm gonna pay taxes. I'm gonna get a plane instead.
What kind of plane?
Plane.
We're gonna buy a plane and we're gonna charter it out for cash flow. You want to get in on it?
Maybe. I got to look at the economics behind
that. The economics work. We're gonna put 20% down on a $2 million plane, and it's gonna rent for $60,000 a month.
Is it a decent plane?
It's a phenomenal plane. It's a $3 million plane that we put 20% down on.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we've got Air Hotline.
Yeah, Air Hotline.
Oh my gosh!
Should I invest in this? I need to. What would it be like an airplane emoji?
An airplane, yes.
Let me know. Let the audience know.
An airplane, Air Hotline. Yes.
It's got our pictures.
Yeah.
So good. Yes.
All right, cool.
So here's one thing. Christina Solara, just so you know, she's one of my students. She's giving a shout out to PCS right now, primecorporateservices.com. Tell them Wholesale Hotline or one of the three boys sent you. If you are a student, you get major hookup. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a Wholesale Hotline thing, but I'll call Steve and see if we can do something. And she says they will help you start a strong foundation and make sure your LLC is set up properly. Okay. Guys, if you don't have an LLC, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. Write that down. Everybody right now, we've got hundreds of people watching right now, and I see hundreds of pens.
Come on, Jason. Look at that.
Oh, that's dope. Talk to planes.
That's incredible. I love it.
If you don't have an LLC,
the whole world is set up for us to create businesses.
Right.
They literally, this is the conversation, because I've had this with my tax guy recently after I saw what the damage was. And they're basically saying, hey, listen, I need to put my people on W-2 instead of 1099. You got to do some of these things. And they're literally, they don't want you personally to make that much money and not create jobs. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is about. Mm-hmm. Right. That's truly what it is about. They want entrepreneurs. They're pushing for entrepreneurs. That's why we earn, we spend, and then we get taxed as business owners, as opposed to go to a job, get taxed, get what's left over, and then you can spend that in your regular life. It's a totally different thing. Obviously, the expenses have to be legitimate, like buying a plane with your buddies.
Bro, you know, you would have had 2 planes.
Yeah, I know.
You would have had, you could have bought 2 planes.
Yeah.
Wait. You know how much my tax was last year? Take
I
a
think
guess.
so. Well, you own a lot more property than I do.
$11,000.
Yeah, that's gross.
My taxes last year were $11,000.
Yeah,
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yep. LLC. Set it up, guys. Listen, they want you to be a business owner. They want you to provide jobs. They want you to provide opportunity. That's how our economy works. There are so many advantages to creating a company.
Okay, so Ryan D says, what does properly mean? I paid to have mine set up today. They don't know it's for wholesaling.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not properly.
then it's not done properly.
You didn't tell them what your business use was.
Here's another thing you need to understand is if you get a lawsuit. Have you guys ever been in a lawsuit?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, of course.
Hold on. You're telling me if I get in business, should I plan on getting a lawsuit at some point?
Yes.
Okay, so
I had a
if
judgment for $1 million.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
okay, so guys, here's what it means properly. If somebody comes and sues your LLC, guess what they're not doing? They're not suing you personally.
Mhm.
An LLC by itself is protection against your personal assets. So that's first and foremost. Was it set up properly to protect yourself? Okay, so 1, you need an LLC. 2, it needs to be set up in the right state so you have secrecy and anonymity. If you guys look at my address on my license, I'll give it to you. It's not my home address. It's a freaking P.O. box. If I get a speeding ticket, I get a bill, I get anything, it doesn't go to my house. It goes to a P.O. box. If I get a speeding ticket, goes to a P.O. box, doesn't go to my house. My LLCs don't have my personal address. Nothing has my personal address on it. You guys can't find anything that shows my house online. Privacy, 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 privacy. I don't want people knowing where my babies sleep. You know what I'm saying? So privacy is what LLCs are there for. So privacy and protection. Again, I'm going to say it last time. If you don't have an LLC, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. Go get an LLC. It's a couple $100s. Tell your wife you're not going to buy her Starbucks this week. Tell yourself you're not going to upgrade that Big Mac meal to a super. Do they still do supersize?
Yes.
Okay, so no more supersize for a couple of weeks, and you got yourself an LLC. It's that easy, guys. PrimeCorporateServices.com. Okay. So an LLC and an incorporation. I'm not going to answer this, but there's a million amazing YouTube videos on this.
Yep.
Go watch this. Actually, my favorite person is Morning Invest. Morning Invest is a phenomenal person that talks about all of the LLC structures. Go there. They're amazing, amazing, amazing. Ezekiel says, that's tips in life we all needed to hear. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. Adam says, I watched the first episode of Triple Digit Flip and the market crash is coming. This is bringing Armando Montalango vibes before the crash. Jamil, what do you have to say about that? I see you smirking.
I think it's funny. I think, Adam, you're hilarious because what's interesting is that you watch a television show, you see that a property sells for a significant profit, and all of a sudden you make a sweeping generalization that a market crash is coming. And then you tie in an overweight Italian who was on the same network and button that up with that absolute dog shit comment. So here's what I think, Adam. I think, Adam, you got to look at the amount of private equity. You got to look at the amount of Wall Street money. You got to look at the Silicon Valley money. You've got to see all the investors that are taking the inventory off the market. And you got to see how little supply there is. You got to look at how we don't have enough material, building material or labor to actually build enough houses to satisfy that demand.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to look at is the demand real or not?
Yeah. So in 2006, 7, and 8, was the demand real?
It was mom and pops. It was people who were going and buying 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 houses on no income, no job loans, and thinking that appreciation was going to happen forever, causing a bubble, and then things pop.
So I have a really good question. In 2006 and 7, I was a contractor.
Yep.
Okay. And as a contractor, I was just working in the houses. I didn't own my own construction company at the time. I had buddies, trades like plumbers, electricians that I was working with arm in arm.
Mm-hmm.
And one day our plumber doesn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? because he left to flip about 7 houses in the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah.
What he did is like, oh my gosh, all these people are just making money. So he goes and buys 7 houses in that same neighborhood, doesn't live in any of them.
Nope.
While they're being built, every single one of them went up $300,000.
Yep.
He didn't own one. He didn't live in one of them.
Right.
And he was qualified for 7 houses. This
These
was
are
happening.
New builds?
New builds.
So
I was
he doesn't even have to buy him yet, and it's
so
appreciated.
he
right?
stopped showing on the job site. How do I? When's the next time I saw him? When I saw him on his job site when I was working on one of his houses. I go, bro, what's up? You're back to work. He goes, dude, this is my house.
Yeah.
I go, congratulations. He goes, dude, I got 7 of them going right now. Why do you think I quit being a plumber?
Yeah.
People quit their jobs to go flip artificial homes. That was 2006, 2007. No income, just bank statement loans, and they were going out and getting as many loans
It was
as they
stated. You could, if you had a good credit score, you could state your income, and you could state your job experience. You could just, you don't have to put anything. They literally were just giving loans for credit scores.
And I just finished the process of getting a loan.
I know. How was that?
Oh my!
How was that?
I watched him.
How was that?
I watched him every week. Like I would ask him, "Are you closing this week? Are you closing this week? Are you?" What the approval process, even for somebody who's making as much money as you're making, I was like, "Why is this so hard?"
It was brain damage, brother.
Yeah.
Brain damage. I couldn't. We're literally 3.5 weeks past close date right now because of how long the loan is taking. And Adam, I know that I'm just playing. I was just playing with you. I'm not being mean to you, and I don't think that you're being mean to us. I love you. We all love you. Happy Thanksgiving, and you're the best. But also, I appreciate you saying that you've been wholesaling 10 years. Perception doesn't mean jack. It doesn't, because I perceive that I can buy a $20 million house, and I barely got a $1.5 million loan. Yeah. And I make plenty of money to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So perception means nothing. Perception means absolutely nothing.
Let's talk about appraisals for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys remember back in 2000, TTP, you
could pick your own appraiser.
Yes. You could go to a freaking supermarket, pull an appraiser off a shelf and go, hey, can you make sure this appraises for $500,000?
As a real estate agent.
Yeah.
There were appraisers that were known to just appraise for whatever.
And we would share each other. We would share their contact information. Like, hey, use this guy. He'll help you get the appraised value. Guys, there are people in prison for what happened in 2006, 2007, and 2008.
Yeah.
What happens nowadays, you are not allowed to know the appraiser or even speak to the appraiser without fear of going to jail. There is no manipulation going on. And let me tell you what happened with Jamil's house, okay? Jamil has this crazy story. He's right, guys. There's no house between Jamil and the ocean. Okay, that's where he just bought a house. I'm looking forward to hanging out there this week. By the way,
when do you close?
Tomorrow morning.
What?
Yeah, but
bro,
Natalie's on a plane right now to LA.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
is it the one you showed me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's dope. Hold on. So here's what happens. The loan takes so long to get done that the appraisal expires.
Yeah.
And he had to go get another appraisal.
What'd that cost?
$700 twice.
So he had to get it appraised twice through the process. So when people say there's a crash coming, I'm like, okay, well, let's find the artificial, where's the artificial buyers? Is there something fake going on in the market right now? Okay.
Yes. So this is where Adam's comment has validity, because it's not perception.
Yeah.
Perception, my brother, has nothing to do with what's happening in the market right now. There is artificial demand, and it's in the form of investors. It's in the form of private equity. It's in the form of hedge funds. It's in the form of Silicon Valley, Zillow, all of these massive cookie monster companies coming in and buying up homes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's artificial demand. It used to be the housing market was determined by Gertrude and Bill, who went to the bank and got their mortgage and said, we like this house. And then they bought the house, right? They got a loan, Then Gertrude and Bill stopped being the home buyer. Now all of a sudden it's Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now it's private equity. Now it's Blackstone. When you look at the number of investor purchases that happen month after month after month, it's artificial demand. We saw it happen on the flip that we sold in Animal.
Yeah.
That's the house he's episode number 1. Yeah. What he's talking about. First episode, and that's probably where his comment's coming from.
Yeah.
So what happened there? Open Door.
Mm-hmm.
They owned 30 or 40 houses in that little subdivision.
Yep.
And when we wanted to sell to a home buyer, they came in and gave us a number that was so ridiculous we had to take it.
Because your house was the nicest in the neighborhood.
Our house was the nicest in the neighborhood, and
So
they
you
wanted
set
we were already
that
setting
upper
the
level,
comp,
right?
but then they wanted to come and make the comp even higher.
Sure.
So they came in and paid cash.
Is there anything
There's nothing illegal about it.
illegal? Yeah.
Nope. But here's where the shoe drops.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you've got to do, guys, is you got to start paying attention to when private equity stops buying and when they start flooding the market with inventory. Will they ever flood the market with inventory? I don't think so, because inflation is their hedge.
Well, and they would
suffer.
They would take
the hit,
Yeah,
right? So they're
yeah.
never going to hold that. Never going to just dump that inventory and die and commit suicide.
Dude, the thing that we're not talking about really is the inflation part of this thing.
Yes.
40% of all of the United States money has been printed in the last 18 months.
Right.
40%.
Right.
Okay. These hedge funds are not artificially buying. They're intelligently buying because they are hedging themselves against inflation.
How
It's
does
genius.
that hedge against inflation?
Because
Housing hedges against
one of the
I know how.
here's how.
I mean, I know how.
Here's how. Houses rise when the dollar goes down, right?
Right.
Because now it takes me more dollars to buy the same amount of a house.
Okay.
So houses prices go up. Okay. But what doesn't go up is your amount of money your boss is paying you in a paycheck.
Right.
Okay. So let's say my dollar is worth less money, but my house is going way up. I can sell like the way it's hard. I guess it's hard to articulate beyond that. Like it's as simple as that.
Well, all the materials that go into buying to building that house also increase. So everything increases. The labor increases. The materials increase. Everything increases.
Everything increases except what people are getting
Wages.
They're buying in areas
Mhm.
that historically appreciate.
paid.
Right. So if inflation goes up 4%, but appreciation goes up 6%, or what did it do this year here? 22,
22 plus
25,
yes.
30, whatever it is, right? Like Jesse Burrell sold me a wholesale house in Scottsdale 2 years ago for $380.
Oh my
It's
god.
worth $580 now,
Easy.
right?
Yeah, he probably wants it back.
In 2 years. He's not getting
dude, last year, just in appreciation.
But what I'm saying is, if you put your money into these properties,
Mhm.
even if it was cash, and the value of the dollar goes down, but your appreciation's going up,
you've hedged.
You're hedging.
Okay,
But
so
Zillow didn't dump. Zillow sold to one buyer, and
Right.
no one ever even saw that inventory.
right.
It
That's
came and went.
that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Brittany Berryman, can I clarify my hatred towards the BRRRR strategy? Okay, everybody write this down. It's the most common question I get. Why does Pace not like the BRRRR strategy? We frequently use the BRRRR strategy. Frequently, monthly. We're doing, again, I told you guys at the beginning of the show, we get all of our money from myinvestorloan.com. We're getting money from myinvestorloan.com to BRRRR. We BRRRR. Here's what I don't like about the BRRRR strategy. It is not for beginners.
Right.
It is not for you to make money tomorrow, next month, or even most of the time within a year. Okay. So if you're somebody who's like, I need to make money now.
Yeah.
I need to make income coming in right now. The BRRRR strategy, average amount of time to get one cash flowing check is about 8 months. It requires 2 loans, not 1 loan, 2 loans. It requires phenomenal credit. It requires job history, credentials, and cash. Okay. So the 2 things that I see with people, they're like, oh, let me teach on the BRRRR strategy. They're attacking and going after beginners, teaching them that they can jump into the real estate game by using the BRRRR strategy. Guys, the BRRRR strategy requires way more resources than any newbie ever has access to. So that's where my frustration comes from. We use the BRRRR strategy. It's a great strategy. Here's the final reason why I don't like it. There's 50 reasons.
Yeah.
Here's the final reason is because people say, when I do the BRRRR strategy, I get all my cash out.
Yep.
No.
99% of the time, no, you do not. I will challenge anybody against my last 50 BRRRRs and your last 50 BRRRRs, and I will see who is better at pulling money out, me or you. I will challenge you. Bring the HUDs to the table. I will bring my HUDs to the table, and I will find that 49 of your properties did not get your cash out. But the one house you got all your cash out, you then talk about it on TikTok, Reels, and YouTube, and you try and get all these brand new newbies. For example, Myron and Carolyn in my mentorship, they're here in the side chat.
Yep.
They went and joined a mentorship all about the BRRRR.
Of course.
And they were convinced that we're going to make money next week in 30 days. And I'm driving around with them. I go, guys, how are you going to make money with BRRRR? And there, it was like this epiphany. I'm sorry to call you guys out. I know we're all about transparency here. The BRRRR strategy will not make you money for a year. As long as you understand that, and you understand it requires 2 loans, it requires 6 to 8 months to get your first check, it requires great credit, job history, and credentials, then, okay. Carolyn says she did not join a mentorship. I don't know what she learned. Maybe she's saying, okay. So again, Adam says, I agree. Pace with BRRRR right now for those starting out. It is not. Okay. It is not a beginner strategy. So my frustration is not the strategy itself. It's the way that it's taught that it's a beginner strategy. There are
Why do you think, why is it so popular?
Infinite money,
bigger pockets.
bigger pockets.
Yeah, but okay, so it's infinite money, but you only have a certain amount of golden tickets that you can buy
Well,
personally.
here,
right?
can I tell you why I'll tell you exactly why it's popular.
So you can get 10 properties.
Because the majority of people don't have time to go out and do what we do.
Right.
And so
I get it.
it's easy to go, I'm going to go to the MLS. I'm going to go through a realtor. The realtor will bring me the property. I don't have to negotiate with the seller. So if you're a 9-to-5er making $200,000 a year and you want to pick up 1 rental a year, BRRRR strategy works.
And you have to get it fixed up.
You have to get it fixed up.
Get contractors in there. And so it's empty during that time. So you eat that cost of you buying it. Right. These properties have to be in livable condition to get conventional loans.
And not only that, but they have to have a stabilized renter in there for 6 months.
Right.
You get a hard money loan to buy the house or a loan.
The refi.
And then you have to refinance it out after you've had 6 months of stabilized
rents. So are people
rents.
buying this with hard money and private money?
90% of people I see are buying when they acquire the property, they're using hard money.
So you're going a year
in
a hard money loan?
6 to 8 months in a hard money loan. Yeah.
And then you're going to have to re-up that hard money loan.
Yeah, you're getting your money out, but it's good.
Yeah.
You got taxed all the way. And you're not getting it all out. When
I mean, you're getting your money out when you refi, but you've already just spent 10 to 12 months paying a private money lender?
You have.
For a house? I mean, you get some of it in rent. Yeah.
So Bobby Coleslaw just did a BRRRR in
His name's Coleslaw?
Yeah.
That's his rap name.
His rap name.
Okay.
Brian Warfield, aka
That's hard.
Bobby Coleslaw.
Man, he sounds cold.
Bobby Coleslaw.
Oh, he is cold.
He's cold. He's cold. So Bobby Coleslaw bought a house in downtown Phoenix. We sold it to him for $125,000.
Oh yeah, your buddy.
Yeah, worth. At the time we sold it to him, it was worth. ARV was 200.
Yeah,
he bought it for 125.
Right.
He puts $30,000 into it, fixes it up for rent, and even when it got reappraised, even when he went to go refi it, they appraised it at 200, but they wouldn't give him back his remodel, his rehab money. They gave him back his down payment.
Yeah.
They gave him a little bit of his remodel back, but he didn't get fully reimbursed for all of his cash in, even though there's equity still in the property.
Right.
So it's not all that it's cut out to be.
Yeah.
Or people say it is.
Yeah, and here's what I would say about the BRRRR. It really does work, but you need to understand that it's a completely different demographic of people. The people that are on Wholesale Hotline, here's a question right here. So it's right up here. Oh, crap. What happened?
Up is down and down is up.
Yeah, I got it. I'm the same way as you. I like to go up and down.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go, right here.
What are you doing to me?
Here's the question. Lucia Ortiz says, what's the best strategy for beginners if you don't have cash or credit? Here's the answer.
Yeah.
Write this down. Best strategy of all time. Wholesale discounted properties to fix and flippers.
Yep.
Or wholesale creative finance deals like sub-2 or seller finance to buy and hold investors. That's it. Wholesale.
Yeah.
That's the fastest way to get into real estate, to get chunks of money, to be in the midst of the conversation, be in the middle of transactions. It requires zero cash and it requires zero credit. And guys, that is not some bullshit that you listen to on some infomercial. We do it every single day. Jamil does it twice as often as Brent and I combined, but it happens every single day.
So Lucia, find all the ugly houses that are by your house, by your neighborhood, by where you live, and get the phone number or go to the door of that property owner if you feel comfortable, and ask them if they would consider an offer on their property. And that is how you start the momentum. That's how you find discounted property opportunities, is having those quality conversations with distressed property owners. And we know they're in distress because the property is in distress. So that is just an indication. And that's your first step into this process, is start building a pipeline of opportunities. All right.
For that right there, the cliffhanger, it did sell with different staging. And it actually, funny enough, can you put on my, can you put
Comcam
Comcan on?
Comcan.
Look, it's so funny that you asked this today.
There's the check.
No,
Oh.
that's the recording.
Recording
Confirmation.
There it is.
Edgemont,
Hey.
8102 Edgemont, recorded today. 850 new staging.
What's that, Scottsdale?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd never seen more mosquitoes in my entire life than when we were filming that episode.
Whoa.
Bro, we were on camera smacking mosquitoes throughout the entire team. The whole production team was like, can you please stop smacking mosquitoes while we're filming the TV show?
Yeah.
Couldn't stop it.
Got it.
This is the final question of the night, guys. Final question of the night. Brent Daniels, you got this.
This
one, brother.
business is so incredible that it is bananas. That's it. That's the whole thing. I don't know. I kept saying that it's bananas, and they put them everywhere. So that is,
Take us home,
that's the
Brent.
story. It's not some like phallic symbol to be like,
To be a dick.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Wholesale Hotline number 92. Listen, it's Thanksgiving. Hold all your loved ones dear. Be incredibly thankful for the opportunities that we have here. Be incredibly thankful for the people in your life. Take a moment, take a week. Just 1 out of 52 where you are just absolutely just connected and grateful and thankful for everything great in your life. And we love you guys. We're going to see you next week for Wholesale Hotline number 93.
Cheers, guys.
Love you guys.
Happy
See ya.
Thanksgiving.
or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.